name is Meredith. I'm Katyrose's sister-in-law, but I almost didn't mention in-law because Katyrose has always treated me like a sister. And I was thinking about, this night was making me think about answered prayers. And Daryl and I had our first date, I think when we were 15, so Katyrose was 7 at the time. So just the beauty of getting to grow up with Katyrose and she with me. And anyway, one of the prayers I had when Daryl and I got married, we've been married 10 years now, is just that a sweet relationship with Katyrose, that we would grow and that our friendship would be deep. And I could not be more grateful for the best friend that she is. And one of the reasons I also love Katyrose, she's the youngest of 4. We have, I come from the same family setup as Katyrose, boy, girl, and so anyway, being the youngest, I always felt a kindred spirit in her. And there's a lot of things I wanted to say, but I'm going to keep it shorter and go with the one big thing. The question of, do you guys know someone who is the type of friend who knows how to hang out in the car with you and not say anything, and somehow you still feel totally safe with them? And the person who teaches you how to be that type of friend to other people. And so that's the biggest thing that kept cropping up for me, is that Katyrose is my safe space. And I had a hard time with James, the main thing being Australia. And but even though I was resistant, I felt like watching them together, the biggest thing that is clear to me is that James has that same gift. That he not only plays that role with many of his friends, but that for Katyrose, that he is her safe space.
Well, I am. In case I fall apart. I am Kimsey, and I am Katyrose's other sister, and very excited to be here tonight. And thank you again to the Blackwoods for putting on such an amazing night. This is the perfect evening, and I can't believe you put this together from across the world. It's pretty amazing. I thought a lot about tonight, and I've sort of dreaded it in some ways for years, because it's sort of intimidating to think about how can I communicate everything to you that I want to about Katyrose. And I thought, there are a few things that I want you to know about her. There's also some things I want to share to honor you, and then also communicate just how much I love you. So I'll start with a few things that I want you to know about Katyrose. And that is that since she has been a little girl, she has had this heart of compassion and mercy for other people. She has always loved the least of these and known how to meet people exactly where they needed to be met. I think about, for myself, in middle school and high school, and this might be hard for some to believe or really easy. I didn't always have the easiest time of knowing who my friends were going to be and knowing where I was going to fit in. And with Katyrose, my 6-year-old sister at the time, I always felt like I belonged, and always felt that my gifts were just right, and I didn't need to be any different than how I was. And I think she loves people in such a way that makes them feel more free to be who they are. And if you've known her for any amount of time, I'm sure you've felt that love from her. I also want you to know that she is someone who rejoices with people when they rejoice and weeps when they weep. And I think the Bible has to command us to do that, because it's not easy for everyone and it's not natural for people, but you are obedient to that command and love people so well, exactly where they need to be met. A few things I want to share to honor you, and I might get a little weepy. Katyrose, I want you to know that you are so gifted and you have a crucial role in our family, and I think there have been times in your life when you've wondered where your gifts fit. And I think yours are the most key in our family. You are rich in compassion, encouragement, and mercy. And these are traits that greatly communicate Christ's love for others and ones that I myself can be so weak in. And one of the greatest women we know, as you know, is our mother. And I think these are great strengths of hers, but you display them in a way that is uniquely Katyrose, and our family would be incomplete without you in it. You are loyal and faithful and one of the strongest people I know. And not everyone knows Katyrose's story, but I remember when she was 11 and we found out that she had her first tumor. And we didn't know the journey that would take us on, but you were put through the refining fire as a young girl. And I think God used that fire to build this great heart of compassion and mercy that you have for other people. And I think it developed a strength that even you are not fully aware of. So finally, I wouldn't want to walk away from this and have you not know how much I love Katyrose. When she was born, she was my most precious baby doll. And now you truly are my most precious friend. I've celebrated my greatest joys with you and mourned tough losses with you, but you've walked with me through them all. And when I think about you, I get this picture in my mind of, or just in all of our lives, of God writing people's names on our hearts. And throughout my life, there's no one's name He's written on my heart like yours. And okay, no matter how far away you go, I'm going to be carrying you with me. I've made it through that. Now I'm going to talk about James for a second. James, I love you. When I first heard about you, I, like Meredith, was like, is some guy going to steal her away to Australia? I don't know about this. But as you all got more serious, Michael and I started praying together really every night. We're going on this family trip, and I knew I was going to meet this man that Katyrose had really fallen for. And we were praying that God would show us who James really was, and that we would fall in love with him if that was the man that Katyrose was supposed to be with. And we go on this trip, and by the end of the week, out loud, I mean, I was like, sorry if this is scaring you, but I love you. And I felt this total peace that you were the man for Katyrose. I would love watching the way that you love my sister. And there are times it's tough for me to think about her leaving, but knowing the man whose hand she's going to be holding and loving him, trusting him, respecting him, makes that a lot easier for me. So I love you very much, and if you don't feel already, I want you to feel welcomed into our family. We're excited to have you join, and I'm excited to see what God's going to do through this union. I know He's going to be honored by the two of you coming together. I love you both. To James and Katyrose.
Y'all don't know me. I'm King. You can go. You good? I got you, girl. I'm Kingsley Clark / Carpenter. They invited me and their family a while ago. Me and Katyrose have become great friends and become a great little sister to me. So, as Kimsey and Bryant and Daryl, soon catch the ball better than you. But James, I don't know you that well. You know how we started out. Katyrose. Kimsey said she loved you. I'm not gonna say I love you because I don't know you that well. But you know, you from the time I've seen you, you seem like you've become a great guy, and you're taking my coloring partner away from me. And I picked up a new one in my own son because I color him now. So I just know that you seem like you're going to do good things for her, and the day you don't, I think me and Daryl and Brian and all our other guys, you know, we're all going to come down and we'll make a trip. So I just want to let you know I love your dad. Where is he at? There you go. I like that guy. He's a good guy. And, you know, I just wanted to say, man, congratulations, and Katyrose, love you very much. See you at some point in your life.
Hey guys, my name is Sam. This is Rob. We're friends of James. Rob will give you a little verbal bomboniere in a second, which is a little verbal gift in a second. I just want to say that you guys are all crazy, and we've really loved being here. A second ago, Vaughan said that James was punching above his weight. I believe you guys say sort of outpacing your punt receiver, kicker, punter. I don't know what it is, but out of your league. But I want you to know that James is the very best guy we have. So I'm sure he'll be good enough. When James was sort of, when we were talking about this wedding happening, he called Rob and myself up and he said, look guys, I've got to get like 18 groomsmen, like will you be one? And I thought, far out, he must have had a lot of dropouts, I don't really know this guy at all. But truthfully, James, you have been such a great brother to us. You've really just shown Christ to us. And Katyrose, like you are beautiful. Yeah, and I know that when I say this for all the people that aren't here as well. I know Phoebe definitely feels it, who's my wife, and we are so excited about you coming down to Sydney. Like really excited. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, and I want you guys all to know that as well. We are really looking forward to Katyrose being with us. It's going to be so good. So yeah, love you guys.
I'll say three things, I guess. The first is to James. Well, not to James, it's about James. I haven't known James the longest, and probably not the shortest, but about right, I reckon. I lived in a house with James with some other guys, I don't know, starting maybe 7 or 8 years ago. And James has done a lot of work. I think if a sheep goes astray, I'm of the opinion that sheep made some bad life choices, and that's fine. See a sheep. But James, in our friendship group, and I'm talking here about the guys, a sort of very Sydney-centric, very ageist position about a certain group of guys. James has done a lot of work, and he's built a lot of relationships and community, and he's been tireless about that, and we love that about you, James, and thank you. And the second thing is about KR and the Carpenters generally. I've known them the shortest for sure. But you see love, you see joy, and you see happiness and generosity overflowing from them, and it's been such a gift for us from Sydney to see that in Orlando, and it's so exciting because that spirit imbues KR, even though I've only known her very briefly. I've been reading some Dostoevsky, and whilst I've been here actually late at night, I've been coming my jet lag, 5:30 a.m. And he has this thing where he says, the people, if the happy man knows that he's doing God's will, because God built man for happiness. I don't know if that's heretical. There's a seminarian on my table who can tell me later, but the happiness of the Carpenters is such a gift to us. So the third thing is we're excited, as Sam said, about you coming to Sydney. My wife's not here, so I'm not saying this for any ulterior motive, but the community that the guys had in the house is now extended and enriched by the women in our lives. We're almost all married. Some of us have daughters. Some of us have sons on the way. And those voices and those threads in our community are so awesome and so exciting. And to see James and KR as a unit is beautiful and exciting. And we can't wait to see that happening in Sydney. So thanks, Orlando, for giving her to us. We're excited. Thank you.
Guys, my name is Sean. For any of you I haven't met, I am originally from San Antonio, Texas, but I've lived in Sydney for the past almost 4 years. And of the last 24 months, I've lived with James, and kind of by extension, KR as well. So where a lot of people don't maybe feel like they know you very well, I feel like I actually really do, even though the first time we met in person was probably like 6 months ago. So I just want to say it's going to be a blast to have another American. I'm really excited. I'm really excited for you guys. Outkick your coverage, by the way, is the proper term I think you're looking for. it's going to be great. If you have any questions, I can put together a little pamphlet for you if you want, translations and stuff like that. But I just want to say I'm really excited for you guys and looking forward to it.
Hi. I actually don't have anything to say. Sean just walked over and gave me the microphone. But I mean, who am I to kind of pass up an opportunity to talk to 200 people as an Australian? That's obviously, and it's not a rare opportunity, but it's one that I relish. I don't have much to say. What I did want to say is there was a moment for me. I've been friends with James for about 10 years. And we've had an interesting relationship, and we used to spend some time, and we'd be falling asleep, and we'd be talking to each other, and kind of talking about our lives. We weren't in the same bed though. We were in bunks, which is important to note actually. I was in the house, so we were sharing a room. So there's nothing suspect there, but no, seriously, he was above me. I was on the bubble. We used to talk about we were both single at the time. We used to talk about our relationships. We used to talk about our futures, and I genuinely thought that I would beat James to marriage because I'm actually quite a nice guy, and James is a lot nicer than me. But James has struggled through his whole life with the problem of attention. And James has a lot of skills, and you will have seen some of them, and more of them will become evident. And one of the biggest issues that James has struggled with in his life. One of his biggest burdens has been that I don't want to say women have thrown themselves at his feet, but it's almost what I want to say, is that women have thrown themselves at his feet. There was a moment for me when I knew that this relationship would be great, and it was actually before it actually got great, so, I mean, make of that what you will. But I was hanging out with James and Katyrose in Nashville, and I realized that Katyrose was the first girl who I'd seen spend time with James, in a relationship, who wasn't enamored by James's personality. In fact, sometimes she was quite dismissive of him, which is nice. But she liked really genuine things about him, and their relationship wasn't built on the fact that James is a great songwriter, or that he has some interesting thoughts, or that he can talk his way out of a paper bag. But but who James is at his core, and that's all I wanted to say. Is that at that point, I knew for sure that James would find a way to make this work, and that it would be a great thing. And so I'm super happy to be here, and I'm super happy to play any part in this relationship and get to be a viewer as it develops. So congratulations, guys.
And on your behalf, mate, can I just say, Matt really should have beaten James to marriage, and if there's any girls out there who's looking for a good guy, Matt is a really good guy, and I'll endorse him and stand for him. So come and see us later on, and we'll work something out, okay? Anyone else? Quick. Everyone's got to move quickly.
All right, I'll be very quick. I'm another of a long list of men who has shared a bed with James Blackwood. And I've just got two things to say, one about James and one about Katyrose. And during our late night chats with James, I learned something that I probably didn't realise until I got married myself. But James is a fantastic listener. I mean, the pillow talk, it was just amazing. So Katyrose, make the best of that. You have a great year, such a compassionate heart that's going to be sleeping beside you every night. And Katyrose, I truly mean this. I mean, we're hearing a lot tonight, but you've been just so universal, and so excited to have you here. Me and Quinn in Australia. So James, you gotta win it.